Hi, Cougars. It's me, Mrs. Webb. I'm here with you today to share one of my favorite experiments I used to do with my kids when they were really young, and I put a new twist on it. So I went to Science Buddies to find what they had available to see how I could adapt it and make it for you. So I'm including this experiment guide in the assignment, so make sure you check through it. So we're going to talk about plant biology. This lesson is called Suck It Up, How Water Moves Through Plants. And then we're going to do a little bit of an art activity and add some STEAM to our STEM today. So some of the things that you need to understand are in this lesson are the vocabulary. So in each lesson, I'm trying to include some vocabulary so we don't forget that scientists know, use science words. So we're going to use our science words. I'm going to put it up right here so I can go through my science words with you at the end. Okay, so I have my materials list, and I need to check off to make sure I have everything on my list. That's really important that we do. So I have my water. I'm here at my kitchen sink. I find that it's a really great place for me to work, so I really like to work at my kitchen sink. I have jars. I'm going to use 3 today. I actually have 4 for the STEM for the art activity at the end. I have a measuring cup. I have scissors, and I'm going to use a knife today. And by the way, if you use a knife, please make sure you have an adult to help you, adult supervision, or an adult to cut for you. Food coloring. Oh, I found some really fun food coloring. It's neon. I found this at Walmart, and I'm very excited. I really like it. So I have all of these things, food coloring, and I'm going to include my camera today, but not Kai. Kai can't be here today. We miss him. Hopefully we'll get to see him soon, but he's been very busy with his own schoolwork. So hopefully you are not being too busy to visit with your grandma. All right, today in our activity, we're going to explore how water moves through plants. And we're going to use these things to explore it. Now, I have already done this experiment, and I'll show you the results at the end and see what you think. So the tool I'm going to work with, the plant I'm going to work with is this. Some of you might know it's celery. And you can use any plant. You can use lettuce. You can use anything that will show colors. So white flowers, carnations work really well. A lot of people like to use carnations. So I just take my stalk of celery, and I'm only going to choose 3. And I want 3 that have the leaf part still attached at the end. And I want them all about the same size so that my experiment is pretty true. So I want stems that have leaves at the end, some kind of leaf. Okay, so then I've got these. I'm going to set that aside. And you need to put 1 cup of water in each jar. So here's my trusty glass jars again. And I pour 1 cup of water into the jar. And then I'm going to turn this a little bit so you can see. All right, so then I've got all 3 of my jars right here. So now I'm going to take my jars, and I'm going to put some food coloring in it. Now, you should use exactly the same amount, and a teaspoon is a good amount, but I found that if you buy the food coloring that looks like this, you can just do drops, and that will be close enough for you. So just make sure you count how many drops. I probably don't want to use green because that's not going to show up very much. I want to know how fast, and the variable that I'm going to use today is I'm going to test colors. I'm going to see which color absorbs the best and changes the plant the most. So I'm going to start with my purple. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in 1 jar. And I'm going to put my stalk of celery in. Now that doesn't look like quite enough, so I think I need a little bit more. Let's do 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I did a total of 18. And I'm going to go through and do each. Once I have all of them completed, I'm not going to have really time to do all of my celery because my videos get a little bit long. They're kind of hard to load and they make them too long for you to watch. So I'm going to show you how I already went through the process. So what I did is I took lettuce because I thought it would be really cool to see what happened to lettuce. And I observed it over several days. Now this has been sitting on my counter for about 3 days. And what happens over 3 days? So in my experiment, I'm looking at how does water go through? Why does that play out? Well, it's a thing called capillary action. So if you notice, inside of a lettuce leaf, there are little veins that go up through. These are called capillaries. You have capillaries in your body. So when you absorb water or drink water, it goes through your body through those capillaries. So plants also have capillaries. And a dye is something that changes color. Like always get food coloring on my hands. Every time I open up, even if it's not open, I still get it on my hands. That's okay. It washes off. It comes off. And it absorbs. So something that absorbs comes up through and soaks it up like a sponge. So plants are a lot like sponges. The reason why we cut off the bottom of a stalk of celery or a lettuce leaf or a flower is it opens up those capillaries and allows the water to come up through and is able to be absorbed and go through. And then you have what's called transpiration. So the water doesn't just stay in the leaf. It would just fill up like a balloon if it stayed inside of the leaf. So transpiration is a process, kind of like when you're running really fast, you get super hot and you get really sweaty. That's called that's sweating for plants. Plants use transpiration. So why does the color stay inside of the plant and doesn't leave the plant when it goes out? So it's wet down here, but it's dry up here. Why do you think that happens? I want you to do a little bit of research and find out what happens why does the color stay and the water goes away. So once it gets up through the plant, it goes back into the atmosphere and becomes water vapor, and then eventually comes back down as precipitation. The next step, the thing that I used to love to do with my kids was I would take just regular old coffee filters. I use these for a lot of science experiments. I find that they're really cheap and easy to use. They also make fun art experiments. So we used to take our coffee filters, and you can see the capillary actions because in paper, there's little holes. And if you get this down into the water, you can watch what happens as the water starts to absorb up through the coffee filter. And if you'll just set it there, you can see it moving through. And you don't want it to go all the way down into the water because you want to be able to see it come up. It's like magic. It starts to suck up the water and starts to color the top of the coffee filter. And then you can pull it out after you get it all the way to the top of the filter, and then you can lay it out like this. This was our favorite part, is unfolding to see what amazing. And you only color one side. So if you leave it long enough, it will color the whole thing. So you usually only color one side and then you let it dry over time. You can take a trusty pipe cleaner and make a stem and make your own flowers, make paper flowers. I really love to do that. I hope you'll love this experiment as much as I loved teaching you. I hope that you have a good time experimenting. I love seeing all of your results. Thank you for sending them to me. I miss you. I hope that you're staying home and staying safe. And I hope that you give your grandma a call and tell her that you love her. I'll see you next time. Bye.